against consensus reality and lovers of wisdom and knowledge and all that wonderful stuff. I thought it was time for another video. It's been a while since I put one on this channel of mine, and since I'm no longer really putting videos on my main Riff Muggles channel, I thought, well, why the bloody hell not? So here we go. Talking to a friend, an idea for a video came up, especially with all this madness and global nonsense going on, and especially watching wonderful videos from illustrious men like Thomas Sheridan and Niall Murphy from Mr. Opaque Lens. Check them out if you haven't. I'll put their channels in the description for their video. I really should do the rest of this video in my attempted Irish accent. I actually might do that one day. Well, if you prefer the Scottish one, I'll do that for you also, alright. But it's for a while now, for the last few months, since this whole scamdemic thing began, the one constant throughout it all, from all sources of mainstream media and sources of propaganda, has been fear. Nothing but a constant pumping out of fear, terror. Oh, this is going to be the 1918 Spanish flu, and it's just a flu. Firstly, let's get that out of the way first, shall we? More people are killed every year during flu season from the normal flu than this fake totalitarian exercise known as COVID-19. Okay? And I know that, the Gestapo at YouTube will probably censor this heavily, but you know what? Even if just 2 or 3 or 4 of you listen to this and get it, and maybe helps you think about it, my job is done. So, screw YouTube. The truth must be told, especially now that during this time of totalitarian jackboot, goose-stepping madness that we're all living in. And with this constant supply of fear comes a hugely overpopulated, overpowered. Gamers know this as OP, a character being, or a class being OP, overpowered. Chaos. And as I've already, in this or my other channel, incidentally, my other channel that I release videos on will, some of you know it. If you do want to know it, just ask. And if you're not a gobshite, I'll tell you. It's that simple. But even in my main channel, I've mentioned this before. The way I see it, because the only thing we can work on is our own perspectives, is, and please excuse these construction noises, they're still building their house next door. And the way I see chaos is it has two forms. You have the positive, yes, it can be positive, transformative aspect of chaos, which really gives you a kick in the backside and gets you into action to do something positive and productive for your life. That's what I call transformative chaos. It helps you to really challenge your own worldview and perspective, and it gives you a hell of a lot of cognitive dissonance to really see if your perspective and the way you see things are the right way, the truthful and productive and useful. And of course, there is the other side of chaos, which we're seeing most of these days, sadly. What I call malevolent chaos, which produces nothing but fear, terror, anger, hatred, and the need to censor everybody and everything so that everybody and everything can fit into one little small tiny fucked up group of people's perspectives and opinions. Yes, I'm talking to you, Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all these other vehicles of fascism, funded by the above-mentioned banking cartels and people pulling the strings of the politicians we vote for, the real ones in charge. And of course, everyone takes the knee, and everyone has a black square, and everyone spouts this Black Lives Matters malachias. As a poor Hellenic boy from Patra, growing up in Australia, yeah, you can go fuck yourself. I've had more than enough racism in my own life, thank you. Oh, and incidentally, yes, I am a different race than someone from Spain or Norway or England. Okay, so let's get that straight. First of all, this whole white race bullshit. Only you Americans are lost in that shit. I was surrounded by 99% racist Anglos in my time in high school in the 80s, being a Hellenic boy and quite proud of my name. I didn't anglicise it to Sam or Steve. This is my name. If they didn't like it, tough. It's that simple. So yeah, high school was hell. I copped 6 years of racism, and by the end of the senior year, when their attitude was okay, we can be friends now, my attitude was go fuck yourself. I want to be out of this hellhole. Thank you. With hopefully most of my sanity still intact. So yes, some of us who do not have black skin, who are not from Africa, have had racism in our lives. And a lot of it. You want to talk about slavery? Talk to an old Irish person. Ask them what their people have been through during the last 1,000 years, right? Anybody who has been a human on this planet has been a slave to somebody at some point. That's just a fact. So let's get over that crap firstly before we go any further, shall we? And of course, this whole sort of thing with the world events and what goes on behind it and the deep state and George Soros and all this kind of stuff. What the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are really up to, all this kind of stuff. Yes, it's helpful to know what's going on. However, too many people sadly are caught up in that. Yeah, and if you guys just shut the fuck up so I can actually make my video for a minute, yeah. Yes, that's how these people here actually talk. Australians would make the best ventriloquists, I have to say. Fucking hell. It's okay to open your mouths a little bit when you talk. Okay? Not bad for someone for whom English is a second language, right? But too many people, and a lot of these people who constantly receive a non-stop supply of David Icke videos, and people that used to watch Infowars.com, the Alex Jones clown show. It was fucking hilarious just for the entertainment value. Talk about twisting something way out of proportion of reality. Jeez. And this kind of stuff, this conspiracy stuff that so many people are into, and somehow it becomes a vehicle for this Abrahamic gobshite thinking. And you will notice this, and these people who try to quote-unquote reveal this are Abrahamic gobshites. Hardcore Bible fucking gobshites who really have a unfortunately very narrow perspective. And of course you will know them because they will say everything and everybody is the Illuminati. Oh, the satanic pedophiles of Hollywood. There's nothing satanic about it. These people who think that there's this global satanic conspiracy, the Illuminati. No, people. I could go into a whole history of who and what Lucifer actually was, and he wasn't your devil, firstly. But I won't. I'll save that for later, perhaps. I'll leave that for illustrious people like Thomas Sheridan to deal with, who does it a lot better than I could. But the thing is, a lot of people who want to know the truth, they get caught up in this hysteria, and it taints your energy, and it keeps you enslaved to the malevolent chaos energy that I mentioned. And that's not good for your own growth, for your own peace of mind, hell, for your own happiness. As a person alive today who can read, write, who possesses excellent literacy skills, hopefully, who can go to a bookstore and just buy any book they want, anyone from, say, the Middle Ages would think that that was a godlike ability. You can go on. I can go online now. Bookdepository.com is a beautiful thing, and order any book I want and pay only the price of the book, no postage or shipping, and that in itself is a miracle. But no, we're living in a world where a lot of people get tainted by this malevolent chaos, and it sort of keeps you in a perpetual state of fear and constantly looking over your shoulder, of intense paranoia. And that's not a healthy state of mind if one wishes to reach one's full potential and really grow in your own mental, emotional, spiritual, esoteric journey. And so you start to realize, as I did for myself, I was guilty of this myself, until I realized what it was actually doing to me. And you realize you move beyond deep state, because this is what all this is, to expose deep state and find out who they are. And you go through the Trilateral Commission, Bilderbergers, Council on Foreign Relations and all this kind of stuff, and you do hours and hours of research on who this is and the Rockefellers and all this kind of stuff, and who George Soros really is and what he really represents and how Bill Gates fits into it and blah, 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 blah. You could be dead tomorrow, and you're really going to waste precious time on all of this constantly. The only person, as Thomas Sheridan would wonderfully say, your job isn't to change the world. Your job isn't to change, is to not have a revolution and change the government or bring anarchy. Your job is to change yourself. That is the only person you have direct control and influence over. Yourself. That is the only thing we should be and can be working on. Ourselves. We're not Abrahamic gobshite. It's not a religion that we're supposed to spread the name of Jesus. No. You're supposed to work on yourself and change yourself. And the other person over there is supposed to do the same to and for themselves. It's that simple. So when you realize this, when you realize all this and what you're doing to yourself by constantly regurgitating and feasting on this constant supply of malevolent chaos fear, you start to move beyond it and look past it. And you say, yes, this shit is really going on. Yes, all that we're being told by the mainstream media is total crap. And as long as you're aware of that, great. Because it means that you take everything that you see or read or hear or watch or even hear people talk about with a grain of salt and just remain in your state of, hopefully, contentment and happiness. And joy for being healthy and alive today and not living in poverty today. And working on yourself. And turning it around and engaging in the transformative chaos, which is the positive one, not the constant supply of the malevolent one, which this poor world has way too much of at the moment. And so that's something to keep in mind. Very important. You realize the importance of moving beyond this fear-mongering crap. No, this person's conservative, and all this fake duality. Yes, thanks, Plato. Thanks for taking your master's words and twisting it around. This constant duality is incredible. Only, to quote someone, only the Sith deal in such absolutes. Thanks, Obi-Wan. It's crazy. As far as perspectives and truth goes, and knowledge and information and wisdom, you don't have any black or white. There are many different shades of grey and different shades of colours in between. That's how reality works. So disconnect from the great propaganda fear machine and actually be fucking happy within yourself. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? The lone wolf on guitar, out.